Hi everybody, Philippa Haynes from Insight 101, and today I wanted to talk to you about starting your business. I read a lot and speak to a lot of people who've set up on their own, and they're really enthusiastic. They've got a great business idea from their perspective, whether it's a product or a service. They've set up their website and they're good to go. And one of the things that I hear a lot is I put my product up on Etsy or whatever else e-commerce platform there is, but I'm not actually getting anybody visiting my products, let alone buying them. And I need to understand how I can generate that interest. And it's a difficult one, and I think everybody goes through this process where they kind of think, right, I've done all of that work with my website or whatever it is. I'm going to sit back now, maybe do a little bit of, maybe a little bit on Facebook or whatever. But that's it. I'm pretty much done. And I think what it's critical to understand is that that's just the start, really. That's the start of all of the hard work, because customers aren't naturally going to find you. They'll need you to be in their face all the time, and they'll need you to have something really different to say to them so that you look different, you're really appealing and memorable, and they'll want to buy from you rather than anybody else. So once you've had your product, business idea, whatever, and you've set up, what you probably haven't done, and this is probably something that you need to do really up front before you even get to that stage, but you want to think about what is it that's different about your business, and what is your brand all about? Because there are lots of people selling the similar products, there are lots of people promoting similar services. What is it that makes your product particularly different? So when you're thinking about this, think about you, think about how you do business, think about your values and your beliefs, and ultimately, what is your vision for your business? So, if you've got a jewellery store, okay, you sell jewellery, but what is it, bigger picture, that you wanted to achieve? What do you want to, what benefits do you want to bring to the women that you're targeting, for instance? Really think about those benefits and wrap up your business messages and your posts, etc., with something that's really powerful for them. Once you've thought about that, then one of the most important things you can do is have a really clear description of who you're actually targeting. And you've probably heard the word of customer avatar. This is just basically a description of who you think is most likely to buy from you. And you need to get down into the real nitty-gritty of describing this person, whether they're male, female, age, what they're into, what their day-to-day is like, what other brands they're really interested in, maybe some of the issues that they're having today. So if you're a jewellery business, then maybe they haven't found anything on the high street that really works for them and they're individual. Or whatever it is, you need to go into a lot of detail to really think about who these people are. And once you've done that, you'll be able to think about, well, where are they? Are they on Facebook? Will they be in certain groups? Do you need to join those groups so that you can start having conversations with people? Are they on LinkedIn, for instance, if it's more of a professional service? What about YouTube? What magazines do they read? All of those things, you need to have a lot of thinking time to come up with a profile, essentially, of who these people are. And that will enable you to have the right messages. That will enable you to be in the right place, selling the right thing. It will help you with your plans, essentially. So those are the two fundamentals that you really need to get right. So it's, what is your business all about and why is it different? You really need to think about that carefully. And then what is it about your customer and your customer avatar? So there are 10 things that you can do in order to get yourself further forward and having customers knocking at your door, rather than you kind of sitting there with no knocks on the door and nobody visiting your site. So set your vision, your brand, nail your customer avatar, just go wherever they are. And then set your targets. Have a clear idea of what you want to achieve and by when. Essentially a business plan, but revisit that and think about what is it that you need to achieve on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis. It might be number of likes, number of comments on social media, it might be number of visits to your site. But have a think about that and think about what is meaningful to your business. It will help you to understand what you need to do to get there. So if you want to have, 20 comments on one of your posts, then you need to start trialing out different posts. You need to, spend quite a lot of time making sure that they're right. And then you need to start interacting with these people. And maybe if you have 20 people commenting on your post, then maybe your goal is that 1 or 2 of those will visit your site and maybe 1 will buy from you. So have some kind of a goal set, daily, weekly, monthly, and what that will enable you to do is work around it and say, so if I need this, I have to do this. So that will make you more purposeful. It will make you work in a slightly different way, and it will give you clarity about where you're going and what you need to do. The other thing is to think more broadly about your sales pipeline. We hear that a lot. But how are you going to get those customers buying for you? What is the process? Are you going to put out a message on Facebook with some imagery of your product, then you're going to get somebody come back to you, ask for questions, then you're going to send them something else, some literature, then you're going to get on a call, or what is it from start to finish is going to happen in order to get that sale at the end of it. And you need to think really carefully about that, because even if you're, what you think selling something that's quite easy, like jewelry or whatever, it's really key to understand the different phases that you're going to take your customer through in order to get that sale. So it may be adverts, get them onto the website or Etsy, ensure that you have all of the product information there. Maybe you have a video that they look at as well, or whatever it is. But think about that sales pipeline and think about how you can push your customer through to buying from you. And with that in mind, think about what we call lead magnets. What are those elements going to be that will get somebody to your website, or however you want to do your sales pipeline? Do you have blogs, for instance, articles, questionnaires, freebies? What is it that will get the interest of your customer avatar? You not only have kind of imagery of your product or your service, but you need to have something that will enable your customer to find out more about you. And it may not be just about the product itself, but more about you as a business and a brand. So, and then of course the issue of social media, and we've talked about, be where your customers are, whether that's Facebook groups or whatever. But don't underestimate how much time you need to spend on these platforms every day. So you need to develop a presence, you need to have conversations, join in, and not necessarily direct sales conversations, but you need to develop relationships with the people who are on, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. You need to pique their interest, you need to get them to trust you and to like what you're doing. And that is the same for networking offline as well. If you're not a member of a networking group, or you don't go networking and think that you can actually run your business from, your room at home, then that isn't going to work. You need to get out there. You need to start moving the circles that your customer avatar will be in. You need to start talking about your business face to face. And equally, you need to think about doing speaking gigs as well. So at some of these networking events, you'll have the opportunity to get involved, do members slots, do a keynote which talks about your business and what you're all about. So that's something as well that you need to think about. And then finally, what is it? Do you have some assets that you can give away for free, essentially, which will enable your customer to think about you all the time? So, if it is, is it catalogs? Is it a book? Is it videos on YouTube? How to make your own jewelry? What is it that you can develop that will go above and beyond what you sell, but start to talk about the subject as well and start to interest people? So think about what else you're doing in order to capture people's imagination. So as you can see, there is a lot to do beyond thinking about your business and your idea. You won't be able to sit back and develop just a website and hope that people will come. And I think a lot of people begin to realise that actually they need quite a bit of help in that situation. And they need to start planning their attack, essentially. They need to have plans and they need to systematically approach their business in a slightly different way. So think about the tips that I've given you. Think about the fact that you really do need to have a presence every day of the week. You need to be pushing out your product and your message. You need to have freebies that will start to interest and intrigue those people who will be interested in your product. And more important than anything else, you need to really understand what it is that your business is there for and how you benefit your customer, so that you have real clarity in what you're talking about, you know your direction, and you feel purposeful, and you feel really confident in the conversations that you have, in your social media interactions, and you start to develop that brand, which is all important, and you start to look and feel different and hopefully add value as well. So I hope that was useful. Starting your business is never easy, but it's one of the best things that you can do. So speak soon. Take care.